Yo, YouTube, it's your boy GB Payne TV, aka Only Payne, man. And I added a 4-point line to the NBA, and this what happened. I kind of already have a idea about what the fuck happened, of course. Talking about the NBA.
What if the NBA had a 4-point line? The idea of a 4-point line has bounced around the league for years, but has remained just that, an idea.
I still think it's
what if these ill-advised bombs that pose no real advantage actually did? How would a 4-pointer change the game? The way offenses are set up, who would take them, and who would be the best at them? Well, there's really only one way to find out. So I added one.
God damn. Damn. All them green spots, that's how you know niggas been hitting that shit from, bro. Hit it from the opposite side of the other 4-point line. Like, dog, that's insane, dog. This is why we say that, look, and those three right there gonna be the main fucking culprits right there. You already got them on the video right there, Jimmy. You a legend of foreshadow.
Today's video is sponsored by DraftKings.
A legend.
My friends, it's been 6 months. No Sunday night matchups. No afternoons of watching your team's
out there. Trey taking a long,
you know, type shit.
good stability out there. With Trey taking a long run and connect.
20 with that. I remember that play. That's my team right there. Well, not the Hawks, but the Lakers.
Not the three. What Trae Young did after the three. Not the most conventional celebration, pointing at the spot on the court where he hit a 30-foot bomb. But he's not pointing to just any random spot. He's pointing at the 4-point line. Now, you or I can't see the 4-point line because it's not on this court. But Trae can see it because it's on his court. Years ago, within the Atlanta Hawks practice facility, the organization implemented a 4-point line, 29 feet out from the basket, a little over 5 feet further than the NBA three-point line. Trae Young can hit these shots because he practices these shots. And the Hawks aren't the only team that have incorporated a 4-point line into their practices. The Bucks have a 4-point shot in their practice facility, as do the 76ers, the Rockets, and many other teams. Here's Milwaukee's practice court with squares indicating 4-pointers. And here's that exact concept playing out in real time. With the NBA seeing an explosion in 3-pointers over the last decade, I'm not sure if adding a 4-point line would be good for the game. And we may not see a 4-point line in the NBA anytime soon. But we have seen it in other places. The Big Three League, which features mostly former NBA players and overseas pros, doesn't quite have a 4-point line, but they do have a 4-point spot called the Fireball 3, a spot 30 feet away from the rim where shots are worth 4 points. So far this season, the league average from the 4-point shot is 50%.
I'm a nice-ass basketball player.
Similar to the Big Three League, the WNBA has included a similar 4-point spot for the last 2 All-Star games. Same conditions as the Big Three League, but this spot is 28 feet from the basket. In the 2023 WNBA All-Star Game, out of the total 45 4-pointers attempted, players connected on 12 of them, giving them a 4-point percentage of 26.7%. In the American Basketball Association, any shot past half court is a 4-point shot.
For 4-pointers in the women's basketball,
is doable, and it's been incorporated into games to some capacity before. But what if the NBA added a 4-point shot? How far out would it be? How would it change the game we know?
At least 30 feet.
Who would be the best 4-point shooters on the planet? In 2020, an article published by the Northeastern Sports Analytics Group went into detail about the possibility of a 4-point line, how the shot would change the anatomy of the game, and exactly what it would look like. Within their data, researchers found that in order for the shot to make sense, the distance would have to be just right. The number they came up with? 30 feet. Any closer, and the shot would be too easy. Any further, and the shot wouldn't be worth taking. We've talked about this concept before. How efficient any given shot is.
The only reason I kind of knew that is because, like, just think about it, dog. Ain't 30 feet like almost to the logo? I think it's like right in front of the logo, if I'm right. I'm not really a basketball expert off of measurements. I'm a basketball expert when it comes to the game. You know what I'm saying? Measurements about where shit at, that's not me. Like, go talk to fucking Stephen A or something, or Jimmy. You know what I'm saying? I'm not like that. I just know the game by like how it's played and shit. And my thing is,
and how that leads to the way teams set up their offense, otherwise known as points per shot. In 2023, the expected shot value for every 2-pointer was 1.096 points. The expected shot value for every 3-pointer was 1.083 points, essentially making both shots about equally as efficient on average. Now, since 1996, the NBA has been keeping track of shot data, where shots were taken, and the success rates of those shots. And with this data, we can figure out the expected shot value not only by category, but by distance. For example, if the 4-point line were, let's say, 24 feet out, we can sort through every shot taken from 24 feet, find the league-wide average for that shot distance, and then just divide 4 points by that number. The league average field goal percentage from 24 feet out is about 35%, which means if the 4-point line was set at 24 feet, the expected shot value would be 1.44 points, far more than both 3-pointers and 2-pointers. So we gotta move it back further. At 25 feet, the expected shot value would be 1.39 points, which is still far too efficient. Keep moving this theoretical line back, and to match the efficiency of 2s and 3s, the 4-point line would have to fall somewhere between 28 and 29 feet away from the basket. But we don't want the league to turn into a 4-point shootout. We need the shot to present enough risk for players to shoot it only on occasion. So if we move the 4-point line back to 30 feet, the expected shot value plummets all the way down to 0.69.
The thing is, though, I don't know about his goat
making it just feasible enough to make sense, but not too much to be exploited, giving us a definitive distance of 30 feet for our new 4-point shot. So if the NBA decided to implement this 30-foot 4-pointer, who would be the best 4-point shooters in the league?
You know,
well, the answer.
The crazy thing is, guys, you know how, like, I think I read something about NBA players saying they want a 4-point line in the NBA or something like that. You know why they won't put a 4-point line in the NBA, bro? Because them little motherfuckers that's coming up right now that's shooting from 30 feet already, them motherfuckers gonna pass fucking Michael Jordan and them, bro. And then there's gonna be a bunch of conversation about who really the GOAT, like why he even in the conversation anymore. You know, Michael Jordan won't pull in no 30-foot bombs, bro. I mean, it wasn't necessary back then, but you really won't doing that shit. I mean, probably the only one doing that shit was probably like Reggie, maybe Larry. Who else? Reggie, Larry, Peja, maybe. Peja
may not be what you think. Now, this is what a 30-foot shot looks like.
That motherfucker,
and for the sake of this experiment, from here on out, these shots are now 4-pointers, a distance that is far beyond any valuable shot when they're only worth 3 points. But despite this, players keep taking them. The NBA record for the most theoretical 4-pointers made in a game is a 4-way tie between D'Angelo Russell, Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, and Trae Young, who each made 5 4-pointers in a single game.
5 for 7,
5 shots made in a single game from at least 30 feet out.
I'm trying to tell y'all, bro, Trae Young is probably the king of 30
easily the most absurd display of long bombs
in
NBA history came from Damian Lillard back in 2020 when he attempted 10 4-pointers in a single game. In total, Dame shot 15 threes, 10 of which were beyond 30 feet out, a feat that would have most players in trade packages the very next day. Ever since the NBA began keeping track of play-by-play data, there have been 51 games where a player has made at least 3 4-pointers. Out of those 51 games, 36 of them came from either Stephen Curry, Damian Lillard, or Trae Young. Because even in a league with the best shooters on the planet, these 3 are among the handful of players that should even be shooting these shots in the first place. But how much would a 4-point line really change the game? Well, it would be impossible to know the ripple effect of such a monumental change. But after painstakingly tracking the shot data and results of each and every game last season, I found that there were only 2 games out of the total 1,314 games played where a 4-point line would have altered the result of the game. That's instances where if the shots made beyond 30 feet were counted as 4-pointers instead of 3-pointers, it would have swung the point total enough to turn the loss into a win, and vice versa. That's 2 games in an entire season. In fact, since 1996, there have been 20 instances where the outcome of a game would have been altered as a direct result of a 4-pointer. Games where a 3-pointer was made to tie the game and send it into overtime. But if the shot was a 4-pointer, it would have outright won the game. So with everything else remaining the same, it's clear that giving an extra point for these bombs wouldn't actually change a whole lot. At least not for those who don't take them. But what about the players who do? Last season alone, across the NBA, there were
It's a lot of fucking
2,192
greens, dog.
shots taken from at least 30 feet out, which sounds like a lot, but it only made up about 2.6% of all shots taken beyond the three-point line last season. And of all these now four-pointers, the league-wide average field goal percentage was just 17.3%.
That's worse than WNBA.
This is a
ain't it?
difficult shot. Luka Doncic shot 34 shots from at least 30 feet out last season. He made just 5 of them. Anthony Edwards shot 13, and he made just 1, which would give him a 4-point field goal percentage of 7%. But not all players are abysmal.
Not everybody
from this
gonna
distance.
shoot that
Last
shit
season,
like that.
Jordan Poole shot 72 four-pointers and knocked down 32% of them.
God
which
damn,
makes him
Jordan.
as
I
deadly
didn't know
from
that.
4-point range as John Morant, De'Aaron Fox, and DeMar DeRozan are from 3-point range.
Okay,
And
Jordan
if that
Poole.
doesn't rattle your brain, Darius Garland
I didn't know
attempted
that.
27 four-pointers last season and knocked down 11 of them, giving him an absurd 4-point shooting percentage of 41%, which is exactly the same as his 3-point percentage. But these numbers
That's
are
a
from
crazy
just
average.
last season.
Just letting
If
y'all
we
know,
take a look at
that's
tracking data
insane.
dating back to 1996, here's a chart of the players who shot the most four-pointers throughout the last 27 seasons. And very quickly, you can see just how uncommon shots from this 4-point distance are. Devin Booker is 42nd all-time in shots attempted from at least 30 feet, and he's only taken 109 in his entire career. Carmelo Anthony was a brick from this range. There's Darius Garland. He's a wizard from 30 feet out.
Hey, bro,
Keep
stop
going
talking
up the
about
chart,
Melo
and
like
one
that.
thing that jumps out is that being a good 3-point shooter
My
doesn't
nigga Kobe
necessarily
wasn't
make
that
a
good
player
either,
a
for
good
real,
4-point
from that
shooter.
range.
Ray Allen shot 157 four-pointers throughout his career and only hit 5.7% of them, whereas
God
Luka
damn.
Doncic, a notoriously underwhelming 3-point shooter, shoots
Forgot
four-pointers
about Ray,
well
but
above
now,
league
I mean,
average.
now
And
you
as
see
we
it.
approach the top of this list, the
mean,
total
but Ray
shot
wanted
attempts
Michael
from
Jordan's
this
era,
range
so, I mean,
begin
we
to
wouldn't even
increase
talk about that.
almost exponentially. LeBron has attempted 304 four-pointers in his 20-year career.
That's why
Trae Young
LeBron
has attempted
bro,
500
Let's
and
talk about it, bro. That's why LeBron's the GOAT, dog. I mean, Kobe's my GOAT. I'm gonna let y'all know that, but we talking about statistical wise and just being the best all-around player of all time. LeBron's the fucking GOAT, bro.
36 in just 5 seasons.
I think that shit said 24,
But keep
30%
going, and you'll
from
find 2
4
familiar
point.
faces topping the all-time
insane.
4-point leaderboard. Damian Lillard and Stephen Curry have virtually shot the same amount of 4-pointers throughout their careers, both of them on relatively
God
excellent
damn,
field goal
Dame is
percentage.
right
But
beside
this is
that nigga.
just the total amount of 4-pointers players have attempted throughout their careers.
Trae Young gonna
What
beat the
might be
shit
more
out that
revealing
record.
is the rate at which players shoot these long
He gonna
balls.
beat the shit out that
And if we
record.
take a look at 4-pointers attempted per season, there's one player throughout NBA history who is miles above everyone else. It isn't Steph or Dame. It isn't a historically great
Trae
scorer
Young,
like
man.
James Harden or Kobe Bryant.
I
It
don't
isn't
even-
a
I don't even have to
prolific
look at
sharpshooter
that
like
shit.
Reggie Miller or Klay Thompson.
If you ain't say
If
Steph
the
or
4-point
Dame,
line
there ain't nobody
existed,
else.
The player who would undeniably be the greatest 4-point shooter of all time is Trae Young, attempting over 100 4-pointers per season throughout his career. There isn't
nigga's
a
been doing that
single
shit.
player within Trae Young's galaxy.
And he makes a lot
and
of
the
them.
further we dive into the numbers, the more obvious this becomes. With a career shooting percentage of 33% on shots at least 30
God
feet
damn,
out,
that's a
if the
lot.
4-point line existed, Trae Young would have an expected shot value of 1.33 points.
That's
off of
more than
4-pointers,
layups.
making it the single most
That's more than a
valuable shot in
contested
basketball
layup, as a matter
outside
of
of
fact.
uncontested layups. For perspective, in a league with
Not
a 4-point
uncontested, but
line, the
contested
best
layups.
big men in the NBA
The
have
fuck
a
I say?
lower
Bro,
points per
I'm
shot
really
value
smart.
on
Bro,
contested layups
dog.
than Trae Young.
Y'all gotta understand, bro. I'm really smart at this shit. Like, I'm really smart at fucking knowing basketball, bro. Like I already knew this shit wasn't gonna be like that because you just said that, like, there was 2,000 of them and motherfuckers weren't even making all of them. So, and I seen all them X's. But this right here, I'm not gonna lie, that's a guess. For
30
real.
feet out.
But for
which
real,
would
it's not
make
really a guess. Like, let's be
30-plus
honest, y'all.
foot
Let's break it down. Okay, you're more likely to take a contested layup more than anything. Like, you're not. But like, a lot of people are not shooting from 30 feet. So of course, that's like wide open three basically. Cause like nobody's guarded. Like the only person that's getting guarded from 30 feet is fucking Stephen Curry. Let's be honest. Like, I understand Dame is a great 30 feet scorer, but Dame ain't getting guarded from 30 feet all the time. Like, you know what I mean? Stephen Curry gets guarded from that half court when he passed half court. Maybe Dame might get. I might be just over exaggerating. Dame might be getting him guarded. I know when Trae Young's hot, he gets guarded from half court. I know that shit because I didn't see my Lakers didn't do it when he got hot one time. So, fucking, he gets guarded from half court. But most of the time, Trae Young don't really get guarded from half court. You know what I mean? We can, I mean, you got to understand, Trae Young got a great-ass young core around him. DeJounte Murray, him, and, what's that boy name? John Collins, I think? I mean, they don't have nothing to do with the three ball, but my thing is, they don't have to guard Trae Young from all the way out there, and that's gonna hurt him for real. Because Trae Young, he's gonna make him. You know, he's been doing this since Oklahoma.
Trae Young, more efficient than a defended layup from the reigning MVP. Do you understand how ridiculous that is? And this gap in value only gets larger as we go further from the basket. Kevin is a mid-range juggernaut. His points per shot on mid-range jumpers is 1.1 points. Back up to the three-point line, and if you take the most accurate volume three-point shooter in the league, Tyrese Maxey, his three-pointers are still less valuable than Trae Young's 30-foot four-pointers. Stephen Curry is the undisputed king of the three-ball. He single-handedly revolutionized the game with his range. And yet, somehow, Trae Young has already made more career four-pointers, or shots at least 30 feet out, than Stephen Curry has.
For real?
But it's probably a good thing that this shot doesn't exist in the NBA. But if it did, Trae Young would be the best to ever do it. Here is a visual of each sector on the floor by distance. And here are some of the most prolific scorers from each of those sectors, along with their career points per shot from that distance. From short range, you've got dominant and efficient bigs, players who controlled the paint. Yeah. But these are some of the most highly contested shots in basketball. So take a step back to the mid-range.
Let's stop. Let's get some shit right quick. That nigga Jokic is a demon. Look at that nigga above everything.
And you'll see, for the most part, efficiency actually remains consistent with players like Kawhi, Dirk, and CP3. Keep going back, and you'll find the long two-point snipers. Despite this being the least efficient shot in basketball, players like Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, and Kyrie Irving have kept this shot alive and well. Take it one step further, and that extra point from the three-point line makes three-pointers in the right hands one of the most lethal shots in the game, with Stephen Curry, Klay Thompson, and Ray Allen all gaining at least 1.2 points per shot from this distance. Since 1996, these are the shots you want, who you want taking them, and how much they're worth. And then there's Trae Young, who, in a league where a 30-foot four-pointer...
Now look at the fucking graphic, dog. That shouldn't make any sense, though. Like, I just broke it down for y'all just now, but that literally makes no sense, though. Like, for real, like, yes, I understand that he's getting picked up. Like, no, he's not getting picked up, and he can make those shots. He's been doing this shit for a long-ass time, bro. He's been doing that shit since high school. I mean, the range from high school and college and NBA are totally different ranges, but my thing is, that shit right there doesn't make any sense because that shit's farther than what it is in high school. See, right here in high school, right there in high school is about past the half court line almost, right at the half court line. Think about that shit. And if you go to a high school gym, if he wanted to shoot from right here in the high school gym, would probably be past the half court line or right around the half court line.
Existed.
That's insane.
Would possess the most
and look how efficient he is from it,
despite taking it from the logo.
Oh shit. And that's the video, guys, man. I love all y'all boys, man. What I think about the video, dog, I kind of already knew most of that shit was going to happen, man. Jimmy he just pointed it out to the obvious people, the people that don't know basketball, you know. But, I mean, I know kind of. I'm not going to say I know a lot of basketball. I know a little bit of basketball. And there's some bias shit that I keep to myself. Like, there's some shit that I'm just biased over, and that's how it is always. But I love y'all boys, man. Make sure y'all sub up, man. Make sure y'all follow me on Twitch. I be streaming every other day. I be streaming every other day on GMB Pain on Twitch. If you want to follow me on Kick, if you got Kick, fuck with me on Kick. I'm at GMB Pain TV. And I'll probably be streaming sometimes on YouTube, man. I love y'all boys, man. Make sure y'all comment, like, subscribe, turn on the post notifications, man, and we out here, man. Peace out.